You won't believe the strength in this black woman's heart. She didn't come to bow. She didn't come to negotiate peace. Everyone involved in the downfall of my family will pay dearly. The words echoed endlessly in her mind. Amara Okoye knew exactly what she wanted. And more dangerously, she knew how to get it. Her path dragged her far from home into a foreign land. Seoul, South Korea. A city where crime has a pulse, where guns speak louder than apologies, and bodies fall not from mercy but from mistakes. In Seoul, mistakes are fatal. But Amara didn't come to be careful. She didn't care who she offended. She didn't care who stood in her way. She came for vengeance. Now the question isn't who will fall. It's whether she will survive long enough to finish what she started. Will she win? Will she be broken? Or is Seoul about to witness its deadliest mistake yet? If you love action-packed stories, dangerous romance, mafia power plays, and women who don't wait to be saved, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification to be informed when we post more episodes. Because this story doesn't slow down. It escalates. Seoul at night wasn't quiet. It only pretended to be. Beneath the polite smiles, the clean streets, and the glowing skyscrapers, the city had a pulse, dark, violent, and expensive. Deals were made in whispers. Lives were traded for signatures. And power moved silently, like smoke. At 2:17 a.m., that pulse beat hardest inside Black Lotus, an underground club hidden beneath a 5-star hotel, accessible only to people whose names never appeared on official records. The kind of place where money smelled metallic, and everyone checked exits before ordering drinks. Tonight, Black Lotus belonged to one man, Kang Joon-hyuk, the leader of the Baeko syndicate. They called him Baeko, the White Tiger, because when he struck, there was no warning. Calm eyes, clean suits, bodies left behind. He sat in the VIP section, legs crossed, fingers resting lightly on a crystal glass. His black suit was tailored to perfection, not a wrinkle in sight. Around him stood men built like walls, silent, watchful, armed in ways the club's metal detectors never detected. The DJ knew better than to play loud when Joon-hyuk was thinking. Everyone knew better than to stare. A single nod from him could make a man rich. A single frown could make a man disappear. Tonight was meant to be routine. Reports, numbers, territory, until the door opened. She didn't burst in. She didn't sneak in either. She simply walked in, like she belonged. Amara Okoye. The bouncer stiffened the moment he saw her passport. Nigerian, foreign, unfamiliar. But something in her eyes made him hesitate. She was dressed simply, black jacket, faded jeans, boots with scuffed toes. No designer labels, no flashy jewelry, just quiet confidence. She scanned the room once, not nervously, strategically. Exits, corners, blind spots. Then she walked straight past the regular seating, past the restricted section, past the point where most people started sweating, and sat at the VIP bar. The wrong bar. The music skipped, not because of a technical fault, but because the DJ's hands froze. One of the guards whispered, "Who let her in?" Another muttered, "She didn't bow." That was the problem. In Black Lotus, everyone bowed. Businessmen, gangsters, even corrupt politicians who smiled on TV and begged in private. But Amara didn't bow. She waved at the bartender. "Something strong," she said, "but not something that tastes like regret." The bartender blinked twice, then poured. Across the room, Kang Joon-hyuk finally looked up. His eyes locked onto her. The room seemed to shrink. One of his men leaned in urgently. "Boss, she's disrespecting protocol." Joon-hyuk said nothing. He stood. The sound of his chair moving was louder than a gunshot. Conversations died mid-sentence. Glasses stopped clinking. Even breathing felt illegal. He walked toward her, slow and deliberate. Each step was controlled like a predator conserving energy. He stopped beside her. "You're new," he said calmly. Amara didn't look at him. "And you're loud," she replied. "Standing there like that?" A guard reached for his weapon. Joon-hyuk raised a finger. The guard froze. "You know where you're sitting?" Joon-hyuk asked. She finally turned to him, eyes sharp, assessing. Yeah, somewhere overpriced. The room collectively forgot how to inhale. You know who I am? She tilted her head. Unfortunately, you're Kang Joon-hyuk, Mafia boss, feared, powerful, emotionally unavailable. A pause. Then she added, you also walk like someone with back pain. Stretch more. Silence. Then, Joon-hyuk laughed. It wasn't loud. It wasn't warm. But it was real. His men stared at him like he'd grown horns. No one talks to me like that, he said. Amara smiled. Congratulations. You've met me. Something twisted in his chest. Annoyance, curiosity, interest. Dangerous things. You're either very brave, he said, leaning closer, or very stupid. She sniffed. I've been called both, usually by men who underestimate me. Joon-hyuk studied her face. No fear, no trembling, no calculation to escape. Why are you here? He asked. To drink, she said, and maybe enjoy Korean nightlife without dying. Big ask, I know. He straightened. You should leave, she raised an eyebrow. Or you'll be escorted out. She looked at the guards, then back at him. Roughly or dramatically. A flicker of amusement crossed his eyes. Watch her, he told his men. Amara raised her glass. Cheers to stalking. As he walked away, something in his chest refused to settle. He didn't like it. What the Baekho Syndicate didn't know was that Amara Okoye had once fought bare-knuckle in an underground ring in Lagos and won. That she'd been trained by a former mercenary in Bangkok, learning how to break a man's wrist before he realized he was hurt. That she didn't come to Seoul for fun. She came because someone connected to the Baekho Syndicate had destroyed her family's business. And tonight, she was scouting her enemy. Outside the club, a drunk man staggered too close. Wrong move. He grabbed Amara's arm. Hey! She twisted, dropped her weight, and slammed him into the wall before he finished the sentence. It was fast, clean, efficient. Two guards saw it. They exchanged looks. Inside, Joon-hyuk watched the security feed. He replayed the clip once, then again. His jaw tightened. Interesting, he muttered. For the first time in years, Kang Joon-hyuk felt something he didn't control. And Amara Okoye? She smiled into the night, whispering to herself. Step 1, complete. Seoul still didn't sleep. It watched. From cameras hidden in streetlights, from tinted windows, from men who pretended to scroll on their phones while memorizing faces. And tonight, the city was watching Amara Okoye. She walked down the street like she had nowhere to be. That was the first mistake people always made. They assumed confidence meant carelessness. Amara crossed the road, hands in her jacket pockets, boots tapping against wet pavement. Neon signs reflected off puddles like broken mirrors. She felt it, the weight behind her steps. Not one tail. 3. Amateurs. She smiled. Wow, she muttered. No subtlety. Is this the premium Mafia package or the free trial? Behind her, 2 black sedans rolled slowly, far enough not to alarm civilians, close enough to intimidate. Inside the lead car, Kang Joon-hyuk sat silently. He hadn't planned to follow her himself, but after replaying the CCTV footage for the 4th time, curiosity had overridden caution. The way she moved wasn't random. It was trained. Who is she? He asked. No one answered immediately. Finally, his right-hand man, Min-jae, spoke carefully. No record in Korea. Nigerian passport. Entered the country legally. No criminal history. Joon-hyuk's jaw tightened. That's not an answer, he said. Min-jae nodded. It means she knows how to erase herself. Joon-hyuk leaned back. Interesting. Amara turned into an alley. A narrow one. Too narrow for cars. The sedans stopped. Min-jae frowned. Boss. I know. Joon-hyuk replied calmly. The men exited the vehicles. 4 of them. Professional. Armed. Confident. Amara stopped walking. She sighed dramatically and turned around. Okay, she said. Let me guess. You're here to politely ask me to stop disrespecting your scary boss? One man scoffed. You talk too much. She nodded. Yeah, I get that a lot. Usually right before people regret approaching me. The first man lunged. Bad decision. Amara pivoted, slammed her elbow into his throat, grabbed his wrist, and twisted. Crack. He screamed. The second man swung. She ducked, swept his legs, and stomped his chest before he hit the ground. The third hesitated. That was his last mistake. She kicked him square in the knee. He dropped. The fourth pulled a gun. Time slowed. Amara's eyes locked onto the weapon. She moved anyway. The shot fired. And hit the wall. Amara slammed into him, knocking the gun aside, and drove her knee into his ribs. He wheezed. She leaned close and whispered, "Next time, don't hesitate." Silence returned to the alley. Amara straightened her jacket. "Men," she muttered. Always dramatic. Slow clapping echoed. She froze. Kang Joon-hyuk stepped forward from the shadows, unarmed, unbothered. Impressed. "That was efficient," he said. Amara stared at him, then laughed. "Oh, it's you. I was hoping you'd send someone scarier." Min-jae bristled. "Watch your mouth." Amara glanced at him. "Watch your posture. You look tense." Joon-hyuk raised a hand. Min-jae stepped back. "You're not normal," Joon-hyuk said calmly. She shrugged. "Normal is overrated." "You knew we were following you," she smiled. "Since the club." He studied her carefully now. The calm, the humor, the absence of fear. "Why Seoul?" he asked. She tilted her head. "Why power?" A beat. They stared at each other. Two predators circling without teeth bared. "I don't like unanswered questions," Joon-hyuk said. "And I don't like being followed," Amara replied. "Looks like we both have problems." A breeze passed through the alley. Somewhere above, a train rumbled. "You embarrassed my men," he said. She smiled sweetly. "They embarrassed themselves." Another pause. Then, unexpectedly, "You should work for me," Joon-hyuk said. Min-jae nearly choked. Amara burst out laughing. "Sir," she said, wiping a tear, "you don't even know my surname properly." "I know enough," he replied. "You're skilled, disciplined, angry." Her smile faded just a little. "Careful," she warned. "That last one is personal." "Everything is personal," Joon-hyuk said. "That's why it's powerful." She stepped closer, close enough that Min-jae's hand twitched. "You're dangerous," Amara said quietly. "So are you," he replied. Their eyes locked. Something electric passed between them, danger wrapped in curiosity. Finally, she stepped back. "I'll think about it," she said. "But if you follow me again without asking?" "Yes?" She smiled. "I won't be this gentle." She turned and walked away. This time, no one followed. Back in the car, Min-jae spoke carefully. "Boss, that woman is trouble." Joon-hyuk watched her disappear into the crowd. "I know," he said. Then, after a pause, "Find out who hurt her." Min-jae looked surprised. "You think someone did?" Joon-hyuk's eyes hardened. "No one fights like that without a reason." Across the city, Amara stood on her apartment balcony, overlooking Seoul's glowing skyline. She flexed her fingers. "Step 2, she whispered. Contact made. She didn't see the camera across the street, but Kang Joon-hyuk did. And for the first time in his life, the white tiger waited. So tell me, was Amara brave? Or was she reckless for standing her ground in a city ruled by a man like Kang Joon-hyuk? Because this was only the beginning. The tiger has noticed her. The city is watching. And the line between danger and desire has already been crossed. If you enjoyed this story, like the video. It tells the algorithm you want part 2. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. And most importantly, turn on your notifications, because part 2 drops soon, and trust me, things are about to get messy. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Amara should trust Kang Joon-hyuk? Or is he the biggest threat she's ever faced? Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in part 2.